2-year stretch there, he was dominant. Last 2 years, granted there was injuries and a bad defense, but just at 500 right now. So what would missing the playoffs mean for Joe Burrow if it were to happen?
He needs to start, and the Bengals need to start putting together dominant regular seasons. So Joe has once in his career been a part of a team that won more than 10 games. For context, Lamar's done it 4 times. Josh has done it each of the last 5 years. Mahomes has done it every year that Cliff Kingsbury wasn't his head coach. And so, it's just been 7 years in a row. And, again, Joe has been excellent for the bulk of this season. Mm-hmm. But if they miss the playoffs, particularly if they miss the playoffs, because they lose this game. Now, you know what I mean? Not they win and other things happen, but they have a chance. This graphic here about the guys he's competing with, his AFC contemporaries, those other guys, that's 3 of 5 years of his career.
Well, okay, but how many healthy?
Well,
2, 1. This will be the first year he's healthy. I'm not holding last year against him.
But last year they were 5-5 with him.
I get all that, but half the games he played, he really wasn't fully 100%.
Okay, but
and then his rookie year?
They were 2-7. I mean, Lamar carried the Ravens, saved the Ravens his rookie year. And then so the comp brew we've used, if we show historically the great quarterbacks of the last 25 years. So Brady missed the playoffs once, Peyton twice, Aaron 4 times, including this year, in 20 years of playing. Mm-hmm. Big Ben 5 times. The comp we've used is Drew Brees. You know what I mean? Because there were a lot, as far as amazing, not stylistically, but amazing individual season, great offense, and team just wasn't good enough. And so it doesn't mean he's not a great player, but in the jostling for the quarterback hierarchy, Allen and Lamar obviously took big steps forward this year that Joe didn't. To me, that's fair.
I agree with some of what you said, but overall my answer is nothing. It means nothing because he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Tom Brady, Joe Montana, or right now I'll say even Peyton Manning. Those are the guys that basically every year they're healthy, they were in the playoffs. Outside of that, you saw Drew Brees. I'm going to give you some more. Dan Marino missed the playoffs a lot. John Elway missed the playoffs several seasons. I'm talking about in their primes. Okay, Aaron Rodgers, you had up there 4. So Brett Favre missed the playoffs a few times during his prime years. So this happens. I still think Burrow is right. Yeah, it sounds funny and we can make fun of it now, but he's right. As long as he's healthy, the window for the Super Bowl is open. And if they sneak into the playoffs this year, they're not a favorite, but they're dangerous, as we've said. And so some of the great quarterbacks, because he's got to do a lot to get on that Rodgers, Marino, and all that tier too.
But what about just Josh and Lamar? Josh and Lamar make the playoffs every year.
That's fine, and I get it when you're comparing the greats. If we look back years from now, you nitpick with that stuff. But he's also been to a Super Bowl, which they haven't. He's also beaten Mahomes in the playoffs, which they haven't. So he's got his stuff too. He's got to start racking up wins, as you said. Yeah. And he's only, with this year, he's only a 2-time Pro Bowler. So he's got to start getting some hardware and all that. But I'm just saying, there are a lot of the greats of all time have failed to make the playoffs in their prime.
Well, at some point, when you are mentioned with the elite of the elite quarterbacks, which you just put those 4 guys up there, that's the group of guys we put in the conversation when we talk about Joe Burrow. Every time. Every time. I don't care who ranks quarterbacks. Yeah. Those current guys, I'm not going to even go beyond those current guys. This year, if we look at just this year, and the question is, what would missing the playoff mean for Burrow? Dude, can you overcome things that these other 3 quarterbacks have been able to overcome? Because you talked about it yesterday and earlier this week. Patrick Mahomes, at times when his defense has been poor, has been able to overcome it. When injuries have occurred, he's been able to overcome it. Josh Allen, with receivers, without receivers, with coaching, he's been able to overcome it. Defense, Lamar Jackson, he's not had to overcome so much like those guys, but even his own injuries, he's been able to get in and win games. We talk about QB wins being a thing, and whether it's a QB stat or should it be, it is. When you look at things like this, it matters. because Joe
But
Burrow,
don't you think Lamar and Josh have always had, and even this year it's coming around, good to great defense?
Yeah, but they've never
and
had
McDermott's
all-pro
a really
receivers.
good coach.
Like, that's the flip side.
Diggs,
Josh
had
Diggs,
Diggs.
he was an all-pro level guy his first year with him. After that, he was good and not. I'm not saying, like, to me, like, there is a trade-off in a lot of this stuff. And Joe is now, harping on the record, we need to bring T. Higgins back. You know what I mean? Like, we should have got that done early. Man, Joe's a smart guy. He knows how the salary cap and how everything works. Chase is about to get Justin Jefferson money.
Yep.
Joe Burrow already got top of the market money. T. Higgins is going to get CeeDee Lamb money.
Yep.
If that is the plan, then what you've gone through this year,
you're going to have to go through that.
You're going to have to go through all the time.
Absolutely.
And be able to win 12 games anyway.
Like, last dance with T. Well, I don't know what he's supposed to say publicly. I agree that it's like, hey, Joe, you got 2 number ones. We kind of have to. His franchise guy is our number 2. But I don't think he's just saying it necessarily be a nice guy. But it feels like the reality is probably have to let T go to the Patriots. And for real, and then rebuild. It's the Tyreek Hill,
right?
Except in free agency.
But if we just look at this season, like, and again, there was times throughout the season I'm like, man, the defense is giving up so much. But at some point throughout the season, you understand as a quarterback or guys on that side of the ball, the offensive side of the ball, okay, how can we mitigate what they're not able to do?
So what's the answer to that?
I'm not sure what their answer was, but in Green Bay, when we had poor defenses and they didn't create turnovers, they got scored on often, we knew we're just going to have to outscore everybody. We're going to have to possess the ball.
If I'm Joe Burrow, just to be argumentative, like, let's see how, I think you guys make a good point. Let's see how I did. Oh, led the league in touchdowns and yards.
Yeah, but so this is where I think there is a little nuance to it. Because I watched, as we all did, Bengals-Broncos. And his numbers were unbelievable in that football game. And had they lost, it would have just been like, man, Cade York missed that kick. And that's why. But he had the ball in overtime and went 3 and out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's one of the reasons I don't buy as much as everyone else how terrifying the Bengals are. The Bengals have been in playoff mode, max activated the last month. And it came this close to losing to the Cowboys and this close to losing to the Broncos when they had no reason not to have it together. And that, to me, is the last piece for Burrow. And you guys know that I've said for years I think he's second best quarterback in the league. This year hurts that a bit, even though the numbers are great. You need a great start to finish regular season. Yeah, overall. Like, these other guys win 13, 14
his starts
games.
to the seasons again.
Yes.
And if they don't make it, it's largely going to be that
Patriots.
No, and then T. Higgins on the Patriots. Oh, it's like a double whammy.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.